Hello MotoGP fans. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Yamaha has confirmed Jorge, Martín and AI Ogura as its factory riders for 2027, signing both to 2-year deals as the manufacturer prepares to debut its new M1 V4 for the 850 cubic centimeters era. The announcement marks the end of an era with Fabio Quartararo and Rins, and signals a bold strategic reset for the Iwata factory as it seeks to reclaim competitiveness in MotoGP. Gigi Dall'Igna admitted Ducati endured an anonymous Dutch Grand Prix at Assen, praising Marc Márquez's fighting spirit despite a quiet weekend for the factory squad. Trackhouse Aprilia dominated with 1-2 finishes in both the sprint and the race, while Ducati's leading riders struggled for prominence, Márquez finishing 6th in the sprint and 7th in the race, and Pecco Bagnaia retiring while contesting the lead. Aprilia Racing CEO Massimo Rivola urged a break for Marco Bezzecchi after a bruising run of races that has seen the Italian lose the MotoGP championship lead. Rivola described Assen as another difficult weekend for Bezzecchi, a sequence of incidents and errors that, he believes, make the upcoming summer pause timely and necessary. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Yamaha's choice of Martín and Ogura reflects a deliberate blend of proven excellence and rising promise. Martín, the reigning title contender and current championship leader, brings immediate credibility and the ability to deliver results under pressure. Ogura, meanwhile, represents the new generation, a rider who has already broken through with his first Grand Prix victory and is rapidly climbing the standings. Together, they embody Yamaha's ambition to combine short-term competitiveness with long-term growth. Yamaha's struggles have been evident for several seasons. The brand has not won a race since 2022, and its early experiments with the V4 engine have yet to yield consistent competitiveness. Quartararo's frustration with the lack of progress and Rins' inability to recover fully from injury left Yamaha facing a crossroads. The move to Martín and Ogura is designed to inject fresh energy and technical feedback into the project, aligning rider talent with the sweeping regulatory changes of 2027, smaller 850 cubic centimeters engines, and the switch to Pirelli tires. Martín's arrival is particularly significant. Having already proven himself across multiple manufacturers, he brings adaptability, speed, and the mentality of a world champion. Yamaha expects him to be the benchmark rider who sets the pace for development, providing feedback that engineers can trust to refine the M1 V4. His consistency and ability to fight for wins across different circuits make him a cornerstone of Yamaha's recovery strategy. Ogura's signing is equally strategic. His rapid rise in MotoGP, capped by his first Grand Prix victory, has marked him as one of the most promising talents in the paddock. Yamaha highlighted his discipline, work ethic, and potential to grow into a championship contender. Beyond performance, Ogura's presence carries symbolic weight. A Japanese rider representing Yamaha's factory team reinforces the brand's cultural identity and strengthens its connection with home fans and sponsors. The signings reshaped the competitive landscape. Quartararo's move to Honda gives HRC a proven champion to spearhead its revival, while Rins' departure closes a chapter of Yamaha's recent struggles. By recruiting Martín and Ogura from Aprilia, Yamaha simultaneously weakens a rival and strengthens its own lineup. These moves highlight how rider contracts are now inseparable from technical strategy, with manufacturers aligning talent acquisition to coincide with the 2027 regulatory reset. Yamaha's Martín Ogura lineup represents a decisive gamble to accelerate the M1 V4 project and reassert itself in MotoGP's new era. If Martín's experience and Ogura's progression translate into effective feedback and consistent results, Yamaha could close the gap to Aprilia and Ducati and return to winning ways. But if integration falters or the V4 proves difficult to master, the factory risks prolonging its decline despite the high-profile signings. The 2027 season will therefore be a litmus test, not only of Yamaha's technical direction but of its ability to rebuild a winning culture around two riders at very different stages of their careers. The Dutch GP presented an unexpected picture. Aprilia seized control across both sessions, leaving Ducati's factory riders unable to impose their usual authority. The Borgo Panigale team failed to reach the podium, a rarity given their recent form, and the weekend unfolded without the factory squad emerging as race protagonists. Assen underlined how quickly competitive balance can shift in MotoGP, with a single weekend amplifying the championship's growing parity. Posting on LinkedIn after the race, Ducati course general manager Gigi Dall'Igna acknowledged the team's underwhelming performance and stressed the need to learn from it. He framed the result as an anomaly rather than a trend, while recognizing the rise of new contenders. For the factory team, this turned out to be a largely anonymous GP, which was nevertheless contested with determination, although without reaching the podium. We have never managed to emerge as protagonists, as our role has accustomed us and as is demanded of us. Dall'Igna combined realism about the weekend with a measured compliment to Aprilia's success. Despite the modest finishing positions, Dall'Igna singled out Marc Márquez for his attitude and tenacity, noting that Márquez had even run as high as third during the race. He also lauded Fabio Di Giannantonio and Alex Marquez for their standout contributions. That's precisely what distinguishes champions. Men who fight for every position, against all odds, and who always put on a show. The general manager's praise emphasized character and resilience over raw results, highlighting how individual performances can still shine in a difficult weekend. Dall'Igna regretted Pecco Bagnaia's retirement while running fourth, calling it an unfortunate end to a promising run. He reserved particular praise for Fabio Di Giannantonio, who was the team's best finisher with third in the sprint and fourth in the race, and for Alex Marquez, whose late surge produced a strong result. Di Gia always proves to be fast, and now it's a fact. Third in the sprint race and fourth on Sunday, he's the best Ducati rider across the finish line. The weekend reinforced the depth within Ducati's roster even when the factory pair struggled. Dall'Igna urged perspective, treat Assen as a single, manageable setback and move on with determination. He called for clear lessons to be drawn and for the team to approach the next rounds with a positive mindset. The result leaves the championship open and underlines the competitive landscape for the remainder of the season. Ducati's leadership framed the weekend as a prompt to regroup rather than a cause for alarm, signaling confidence in the team's ability to respond. Gigi Dall'Igna's candid post-race appraisal at Assen mixed disappointment with recognition of individual grit, notably from Marc Márquez, Fabio Di Giannantonio and Alex Marquez. While Aprilia celebrated a dominant weekend, Ducati treated the result as a temporary setback to be analyzed and overcome, setting the tone for a focused response as the 2026 season continues. The Dutch Grand Prix underlined how quickly a title challenge can wobble. Bezzecchi crashed at Assen while trying to recover lost ground, compounding a run that already included a controversial incident in Brno and a chaotic Hungarian GP. The result: 3 consecutive Sunday non-scores and the championship leads slipping away. Assen was less a single failure than the latest episode in a difficult patch for Bezzecchi, one that has shifted the title fight and opened the door for rivals. Speaking after the race, Rivola struck a balance between criticism and concern. He said Bezzecchi needs a break to recover mentally and physically, and confirmed the team will send him on a week-long vacation to regroup. Rivola framed the rest as an opportunity to reset rather than a punishment. We'll send him on a week-long vacation, hoping first and foremost that he's okay and that he's willing to go. The message combined empathy with a clear expectation: recover, reflect and return ready to fight. Rivola referenced a string of costly moments: the Brno sprint controversy that led to a ban, the Balaton Park melee that saw Bezzecchi taken out, and the Assen crash while attempting to claw back positions. He singled out the Hungarian incident, where teammate Jorge Martín's involvement affected multiple Aprilia riders, as particularly damaging. The accumulation of incidents, rather than a single mistake, has been the decisive factor in Bezzecchi's recent slide. Despite the criticism, Rivola praised Jorge Martin's maturity at Assen, pointing to a composed ride to third as evidence of championship temperament. He also highlighted Martin's pole performance as a reminder of his talent and ability to extract a lap when it matters. A world champion doesn't make these mistakes because he knows how to fight for the world championship, which is exactly what he did here. Rivola used Martin's weekend as a contrast, an example of how experience and calm can stabilize a title bid. The standings tightened. Martin leads Bezzecchi by 7 points, with Fabio Di Giannantonio a further 9 adrift as the best Ducati. Rivola's prescription is pragmatic: rest, recovery and a measured return, while the team prepares to address the on-track issues that have cost valuable points. The summer break arrives at a useful moment for Bezzecchi and Aprilia. How he responds afterward could define the remainder of the 2026 title fight. Massimo Rivola's frank assessment of Bezzecchi's recent form mixed criticism with care, a call for a short break, an insistence on learning from mistakes, and recognition of the championship-level composure shown by Martin. Assen crystallized the challenges facing Bezzecchi but also offered a clear path forward: rest, reflection and a focused return as the season resumes. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!